hasn't occurred yet. And you will ask yourself, okay, I don't have any access to TM. How can I know that there is an event posted in TM? Okay, let me give you a trick. If you look at this line, you will see that the life cycle is in process, and most importantly, the execution status description shows as not started. So in this way, we know that you are still able to make updates on the inbound delivery and not on either TM or CCP by the vendor. This is something I wanted to let you know, because some people approached us in order to make this question. Another thing I wanted to let you know, and is an enhancement that has been implemented during those last days, is that in the past, when you came to the training, and until some weeks ago, we were advising you to perform packing, and for a series of reasons that I'm going to explain you later. But we were insisting that it is much better, it is recommended to do packing for the impacts that we will see. I want to let you know that the system has changed, and in a way that packing is so important, is so crucial, that the planners will not be able to plan a freight unit unless it has been packed. Meaning, when I go to the transportation, if I'm a planner and I go to the transportation cockpit in order to select the routes that the orders will follow, and pay attention to this because it's new, here we see only freight units, inbound deliveries, or DTRs whose icon it shows as packed. If we do not pack, we are not going to be able to see it here. So in other words, what some weeks ago was a strong advice, now with the latest release of changes is a must. So pay attention to this, because you can come to, like our scenario, you can come in your entity in a situation that you check your inbound delivery, you check that it has been integrated to TM, because you check that there are some documents created that belong to the TM module. However, your planner informs you that they are not able to see anything for planning. And you may think that the document has been lost somewhere between ECC and TM, somewhere between the inbound delivery and the freight orders. But please, before raising a ticket to the help desk, I would recommend you to check if the inbound delivery has been packed. For example, in this case, my inbound delivery, it's number, let's look for it. The inbound delivery that you see here, 180075-943. I see that it has been transferred to TM. However, I go to TM, 18, and then I search for my number, 943, and it doesn't appear. So this could be a scenario for raising a ticket to help desk. Please, before doing that, just go back to your inbound delivery and check if it has been packed. Because if it hasn't been packed, most probably this is the reason for not being able to see your DTR in the transportation cockpit. Okay. Let's do some packing for some of you that are not so familiar with the packing process. It's a very simple exercise, so let's do it. This is our inbound delivery, And remember, the inbound delivery has a lot of usage, mainly because you are going to perform virtual goods receipt in the inbound delivery, but also because here is where those having the role of inbound coordinator are able to change the delivery date if they are aware, if they are informed that the delivery date has been changed, and also to attach documents. This is a slight difference with the implementation of TM. In the past, we used to train you that everything related to the shipping of the documents had to be attached by using this button. Now with the implementation of TM, you will may find that is the vendor or the freight forwarder themselves attaching and providing documents by using the carrier collaboration portal, or it may be another colleague having the role of TS01 that receive the information offline from the vendor or the freight forwarder, and then they attach those information and these certificates and other documentation in TM directly. So don't be surprised if you stop finding information as an attachment. You will probably need to search for those information in the TM module, together with update on the events. For example, in the past, we used to mark here when there was a parcel delivery by changing the quantity in this field. But with implementation of TM, parcel deliveries are events that the vendors can insert by themselves. So there is a slight change of what actions are done in inbound delivery and what are the actions that TM are going to perform, or actually they are performing already. But as I said, let's go and let's see how to do packing. It's quite simple. I'm clicking this document that it's called edit. So we are able to edit the inbound delivery. As you see, we are not going to change this time the expected delivery date. We are not going to do virtual goods receipt. We just check that the inbound delivery has been transmitted to TM. However, we don't see any of the documents in the cockpit in TM. What I want to do is to click on this icon, which is a box, is the packing button. And if you remember, the screen is divided into two areas. The first thing we need to do is to look at the area at the bottom of the screen, where we have all the materials that are pending to be packed. In this case, are 5 units out of 5 of ambulances that are pending to be packed. In my case, what I'm going to do is to first select the packaging materials. And the packaging materials, what you need to do is to get the information from the vendor. So you, at this point, those of you who are having the role of inbound coordinators shall not decide what are the packaging materials. They just need to get the information on the packaging and insert it in the system. It's not about thinking or deciding or instructing how the packaging is going to do. Just get the information that currently is not in Umoja and insert it in Umoja so that the TM planner is able to see the freight unit in the cockpit. In this case, let's imagine that the vendor for ambulances is telling us that one of the ambulances will be packed in a 20-feet container. So those of you who receive this information need to select among the packaging materials, the ones that correspond to the information that we receive. You will see in your list that the first items in the list begin with a symbol. Please do not use those products that start with a symbol, okay? You just need to scroll down any of the symbols, don't use them. What you need to do is to scroll down until you see a normal description of the product IDs. This is all of them has been customized and created as master data by our colleagues. In other words, if you find yourself in a situation that you need to add a packaging material that doesn't exist in this list, you need to raise this request for inclusion of a packaging material as master data. So as any other master data, I would advise you to go to ISIC and to fill in the form. If we are seeing this, is because someone in the past requested this packaging material to be in the system. Right. Having said this, what we will do is to, as I said, a container. We want a container. This is the product ID of the container. And what we're going to do is to pack 2 ambulances. Sorry, I missed this. We select the product ID and we click on enter. And now I selected 2 ambulances to be inside the 40-feet container. And here they are. What is the system telling me? That out of the 5 that the PO has, 2 are packed and 3 are pending to be packed. And as you know, if the order has 5 units and the 5 units are going to be transported, we need to pack the 5 units. In this case, I'm going to pack 1 unit differently. I'm going to select another. Remember, you have to put yourself in the first tab called Pack Material. You need to go to the column Packaging Materials, select the matchbox. Always use the matchbox as much as possible, because this will minimize the probabilities of errors and data not being transmitted. In this case, what I want to do is to, for example, to put 1 ambulance in a 20-feet container. So I selected the product ID for 20 feet, and then I select 1. I'm going to tell the system that these 2 need to go together by highlighting both lines, product and packaging, and clicking the packaging icon. So now we have 3 ambulances packed and 2 ambulances not packed. I'm going to do again another packing. Another important thing that I may not explain. Once you put yourself in the matchbox, it will open a search tool. Okay, there are different ways to search for your packaging materials. You may see the same 3 tabs as I'm seeing, or you may see another ones. To me, the easiest way is to go to the tab called Material by Material Type. If you don't see the way I see it in the screen, you may want to click on this button and it will open all the search possibilities. Okay, so if you see something different to what I'm seeing, just click on this square. It will open all the possible tabs and select, please, the material by material type. Once you select, it will stay for the next time that you click on the matchbox. So it's a one-time operation. Once you are in this tab of material by material type, what you need to do is to look for the material type. As I said, it has been customized for the UN, and as some of you know, all the data that has been customized begins with Z. In this case, is set PAM as packaging material. Set PAM and click on Start. And this is all the material that has been created, and the ones with the symbol are decommissioned, let's say. So you need to scroll down in order to find out what is the master data specifically customized for the UN. And as I said, now that the packaging function is going to be intensively used, if you find that you need extra packaging material, what you need to do is to follow the process for requesting master data by using ISIC. If you have, okay, let me see. I'm not following the chat. If you have any comment, please write it down in the chat, and I will answer once I finish, if you don't mind, okay? I like the bubble wrap, so I'm going to select this one. But in real life, remember that you cannot be creative in selecting the packaging material. What we need to do is to get the information provided by the vendor. Okay, and let's put, okay, 2 quantities in the bubble wrapping, okay? So now you see in this bottom part of the screen that there are no items pending to be packed. So we are done with the packing. We're almost done, but because what we need to do is to update with the measurements of what we call handling unit. Let me tell you. Here we have 3 units, and the column is called handling unit. What is a handling unit in Umoja terms? A handling unit is the combination of the material, the product ID, and its packaging. If you see, we have put, in this case, ambulances inside a packaging material. So an ambulance is a product ID, a packaging material is a product ID, and the combination of one inside the other creates a handling unit. So this is a handling unit. In practice, you may most probably receive information from the vendor in a packing list or any other documentation informing you about the items that they are preparing and they are going to ship in terms of handling units, meaning they will tell you you have €1 pallet or pallet, and then the measurements and the weight of the pallet itself or the boxes or the container are this. So they will provide you information of what is called the handling unit, not only the product separated, I mean, not only the products as a standalone product, but they will provide you information on the combination of the packaging and on the product ID. And this is what you need to, as a mandatory step, you need to update in the inbound delivery. And I'm going to show you why it is a mandatory step. But let's go for it. If you remember, we packed 2 ambulances in one container, and that makes a handling unit. 1 ambulance in another container, and that makes another handling unit. And then 2 ambulances wrapped in bubbles, and that makes another handling unit. What we need to do is to edit the details of the handling unit. We double click next to the handling unit, and then I like this view because it's quite self-explanatory. We have a product ID that begins with 21, that are the ambulances. Inside, this is the product ID of a packaging material, and this creates a handling unit. We have the same. Well, we have 2 quantities here. We have 1 unit of this product ID inside this product ID, and that creates a handling unit. And we have 2 quantities of this product ID inside this packaging material, and this creates another handling unit. Okay, it's quite easy to see. What we need to do is to get information from the vendor, and for example, in this case, the vendor is telling me the 2 ambulances, this is the length, for example, of the packet of the handling units. 8,8 meters, 8,8 meters. I'm just inventing, as you know, the numbers. Okay, you will take it from the vendor, and you will just insert the information here. And it is very important to select the unit of measurement. Not only this, you will also, for example, are going to update the weight. This weight includes packaging, right? Packaging and the 2 units of ambulance. Let's put that is 8,000 kilos, 888. Okay, these are, and don't forget to update the unit of measurements. So we have updated the first handling unit, then we need to update the second handling unit, and I'm going to put these numbers. I'm putting these numbers because they will be easier to recognize when we move into TM. We want to see the impacts of what I'm doing now into TM. Let's imagine that the total weight is 9,999 kilos. Okay, this is it. And let's proceed with the same. Let's put that the length is 10 meters, and 10 meters, and the total weight 10,000. Okay. Some of you may think that you also want to edit the measurements of the product ID separately. I am recommending you to edit the handling unit, first of all, because it's most probably the information that you will get easier, so you don't need to make calculations. And second of all, because we're going to see how it is transmitted into 2EM and how it enables the following steps to be done smoothly. At this point, we have updated the inbound delivery with the packaging, and also remember the packaging information, the dimensions, volume and length, width and height. Once we are done this update, we need to pay attention in how to save it, because it's a two-step. If I click on the icon of save, I get a warning, an information. It means that it hasn't been saved. Okay, so please just hit enter button in your keyboard, and now is where you see a message stating that the inbound delivery has been saved. Now I'm going to check if this information is ready for the planner. Let me click in refresh, and if you see now that my inbound delivery has been packed, is only when it's visible for planning purposes. If it was not packed, then the document would be lost between ECC and TM. And some of you may know already what is this cockpit and what is the functionality. Basically is to assign a route and continue with the process of deciding the route of the materials, okay? Let me show you what I wanted to show you. Basically, I'm going to click on the DTR. And this is the delivery transportation requirement document and the associated documents. Here on the bottom, sometimes you have it here as in the bottom, sometimes you have it here as a tab. You can customize as well the look that you want to give it. Here we see the icon of the product that hasn't been packed and the icon of the packaging. And then you see the description. It's an ambulance inside a packaging material. And here, this is the quantities that are inside of each packaging materials. Remember, you can drag and drop the columns at your taste, so it's easier to follow. And here we're going to see the changes I did on the measurements. Okay. Remember that I put, I think it was 8,000. Yeah, one of them, one handling unit, was 9,9, another 8,8, and yeah, just it's here, but here it's okay, but we are not working on the document here. What actually the purpose of updating the handling unit is much bigger and much more important. And the purpose is to extract an accurate statement of works document. And this is going to be found in a freight order. Okay. In this scenario, we haven't selected the route that the goods will follow. It's only selected the route that the vendor will follow until they hand over the materials to a freight forwarder. And what the planner needs to do is to use some tools in order to make the selection of the last legs of the shipment. In this case, when a requisitioner is going to bid for the transportation, is going to use a statement of work created by TM. And let me show you why it is so important that the documents are packed. This is the template that the requisitioner will attach in a shopping cart in order to do the tendering process, the solicitation process for freight. And this is the description of what it needs to be quoted by possible interested vendors. And here it is, the information on the material ID, on the product ID is left blank. And everything is populated, the information is transmitted at the level of handling unit. That's why I was recommending you that when you are in this stage, no, it's not this stage. When you are at the stage of the inbound delivery, you edit the packaging information at the level of the handling unit, because this is what is going to be transmitted into the statement of work. And this is the purpose. We are updating the information in the handling unit because we want a statement of works that is decent and that is and it reflects correct specifications for possible vendors. That's why it's so important that you update at handling unit level. If you update at product ID level, the system as of now is not configured to display it here. But what we can do is to put it together, the ambulance together with its packaging material, which is 20 feet container. In this case, it has these measurements that I just invented. And so it happens with the 2 units of ambulances that are inside a 40 feet container. These are the measurements. And these are the measurements of the ambulances into the wrapping paper. What a requisitioner will do with this document is to attach it and to create their solicitation process. The buyer will create the solicitation process for procuring freight for this order. That's why it's so important that we make it correctly. First, it is important as it is the handling unit, the information updated at the handling unit, what is transmitted to the statement of work. So far is not the information put at the PO, at the product ID level. And second of all, because you will save many tickets to help desk if you make sure that you pack each of and every inbound delivery. As you know, this is the latest update is that any inbound delivery that hasn't been packed is not going to show up here. Remember that the T code for updating the packing is BL32N. And this is all I wanted to tell you during this session. I'm going to open the mic, or let me read. I'm reading your chat. Okay, I'm going to, you can type any comment here, or I'm going to, let me see if I can open the microphone for you. Not sure that I can. Oh, apparently, guys, apparently I cannot unmute you. Okay, so
Hi, Elena. We can unmute and we can speak to you. Thank you for today's session. It was very nice, refreshing.
Elena, it's Sasha. Can you hear me or?
Yeah, we can hear you, Sasha.
Yeah,
This is
okay.
Adrian.
Now I want to suggest something, if possible, for you guys to consider for maybe any future session. I have discovered a way to pack things faster, especially when you have so many items. But what I was not able to find is to change the charges for multiple handling units at once. This morning I had like 42 handling units and each of them had same charges, but I had to do manually one by one. So I don't know if it's possible to inquire, is there any way that you can populate charges by selecting all units, especially if the charge is same for each unit?
I'm not sure about the charges because I know they come from master data.
No, because you do one by one. But in packing, for example, you can pack. I was able to pack automatically to create 42 handling units at once without. It took 2 seconds rather than packing each and one separately. But then in TM, I was entering charges and it wasn't possible actually to do more than one at a time. And also the currency, it would be very nice if you can automatically change the currency for charges for all units rather than changing one by one.
That's what I mean, because technically the manager should update the charges per FO to the actual charges.
No, it's one FO, but
Yeah.
there are like 50 handling units in the FO. So 50
Right.
packs, 50 containers, let's say, and then so you have to do it one by one.
But in the FO under the actual charges, you weren't able to actually just put in the under the charges just once.
Yeah, you can put it on the first handling unit, but that's not the point. Then you have a summary of all charges for 50. I had like case 35,000 euro and each one was 700. So I had to do 50 inputs and 50 change of currency. So it took me like 20 minutes to do that.
I understand.
Okay.
First thing to do is maybe raise a request in self-service with screenshots.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe training team can discuss with I don't know, Nicole or Rafa. Maybe they have some kind of knowledge they have been doing in the testing. That's why I'm asking. Otherwise, we'll follow the standard process if it doesn't work.
I don't think Rafa's in today's. No, he's not on. I would actually put through I need, and then we can raise it with the team next time we speak to them.
Okay. Yeah, and for packing, there is really a couple of interesting solutions there that enables you to pack much faster than especially if you have many items.
Free to share.
No, I can share, but I need a case.
So we have to wait for the next big one.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Sorry, Elena, you're still muted.
Hello. So thank you so much, Sasha and Adrian. This is all I wanted to tell you during today's session. I don't know if you have any other input from your end.
I think the classic catch-22 question is that how can I update the measurements inside the inbound delivery for packing when they haven't raised a shopping cart for the RFX? I think that's going to be the common question. Is like they need the information up front to raise the shopping cart for freight. So how do they contact their vendor? So I think there must be taking it from some form of master data.
Well, this is a topic that has been raised as well in the global BTC, and we are following up on the side to get if there is a standard solution. But okay, you need to get the measurements first from the goods vendor. And then what you are going to do, the second shopping cart, you need the SOW in order to bid for the freight. So when you place the order to the vendor, maybe the buyers can ask the vendor how the item is going to be packed, so they can update the inbound delivery. But anyways, this is a temporary answer that I'm going to give you. I prefer to wait until an official answer comes. Okay, so but you need to update the measurements from the vendor while you are requesting for quotation or once you place the purchase order.
So the majority of the time they can take it from the purchase order.
Yes. If it's not stated, you buyers or contract management can ask what is the packaging of the materials.
Perfect. Thank you, Lena.
You're welcome.
Yeah, in addition to that, some of the system contracts has already information included how the items are packaged. So for the system contract might be easier. You just need to look at the contract itself, which is usually attached in Umoja under contracts attachment.
Okay, thank you, Sasha. I was wondering, is it stated as a long text or?
No, you will need to download a bill of quantity or specification list or something, depending how it is attached. Sometimes it's separated as annex, sometimes it's part of the main file of the contract. But usually a lot of contracts would have exact packaging and weight and dimensions, especially if you are buying something that might be containerized like prefabs or some kind of equipment. So you can find it inside the contract itself, not in the Umoja in the any field, but open the PDF file and should be there.
In the contract. Thank you. Thank you. So in any case, it will be the first point of contact procurement section in the entity to see if they know, or if it's not in the contract, they can either the buyer can ask for the vendor or colleagues already know. Okay. Any other comments? Let me open the chat and see. Yes, we are done, Frey. From my side, yes, unless there's anyone who wants to provide any inputs. No, I'm done from my side. I will leave Teams open. And thanks so much for attending. For your information, tomorrow we will have other session at this time, and so the next days. And please let us know if any of your comments or requests as well. We will have this Teams open the whole evening, afternoon. Thank you so much. See
Thanks,
you.
Elena. Thanks, Elena. Bye-bye.
Thanks to you.